And welcome to the show that when the fourth quarter buzzer sounds at the end of a sports game, you tune to us for your fifth quarter sports talk. That's right, Bears fans. Fifth quarter sports talk. And Bears fans, I hope you're waking up to some really good news that I just saw. Literally, had my jacket on still here. Was right about to head out the door. The Chicago Bears have made breaking news by firing their GM Ryan Pace and head coach Matt Nagy. This news coming from courtesy of one of the NFL's most well-respected reporters, Adam Schefter, and then we saw it from Daniel Greenberg, who's very well versed in Chicago sports media. So, really great news, Bears fans. Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy, the people responsible for sadly bringing this team to the record it had this year. Ryan Pace making that high pick of Mitchell Trubisky, made the smart pick of Justin Fields, but extending players he shouldn't have, like Khalil Mack and such. Yeah, I'm going there, guys. Look at what Khalil Mack's doing right now. He's hurt, getting paid too much for it. Change is time to come. And George McCaskey's finally getting a clue. There were reports that he was talking to people well respected, like Tony Dungy and some other well respected former Bears players that could help with the change. Now we only know so much right now, but we'll score special fans. This is an exciting day for the Bears, and the future of this franchise means they're trying to do right by Justin Fields and the young players in that organization, David Montgomery, and veterans like Eddie Jackson, players like Darnell Mooney, Cole Kmet, Tevin Jenkins, Travis Gibson. All these players are finally going to have it done right with this team. There's going to be new management involved. And, guys, look at how it worked out for the Bulls. Now, of course, with the Bulls, they had a new president come in, so we don't know what's going to happen with Ted Phillips yet. But we do know, and this is just reported within the last hour, Matt Nagy was the first to be fired um, from the Chicago Bears. He was notified this morning, and then it was released, I believe, about half hour after. So within the last half hour, 40 minutes, it was released that general manager Ryan Pace, who a lot of Bears fans expected, actually, and analysts now, that's the job of the analysts and reporters. It's not easy, but they have information. It was reported that Pace might be promoted, which I know as myself, a lot of Bears fans wouldn't like. Me, the host and creator, Will Score Special, wouldn't like that either. That wouldn't have been the smart move for the Chicago Bears. It was time to clean house and start fresh, and that's what they're doing. So you see me with my jacket on. I was literally headed out the door just like everybody, getting ready for work, getting ready to take care of some things, and we got breaking news. So I love good content like this on the podcast, emergency content we've had done before. So I'm going to talk about the moves a little bit and what I think is going to happen. And there's going to be a lot of content coming your way, so this will be up on the YouTube channel. Going to try and get an episode together this week, or worst case, a blog at most, as soon as possible. I'm going to go into my resources, see who we can find to come on the show to talk about the Bears and this move. So we're going to let you guys know when that stuff comes out. The blog stuff will be up with this video as well today. So that stuff will be written by the evening time as we speak. Just got to make sure I put the right words together for y'all. And this is big news. So Ryan Pace, I'm going to start with him. We're going to go one person at a time. So, because I could spend a whole 2 hours with you guys on each guy and why they should have been gone. But we're only going to keep it to a certain amount for everybody. So Ryan Pace was hired as general manager in 2015. It was rumored he tried to hire Dan Quinn as head coach, which I think would have been better than what we received at the time, which was John Fox. And then he proceeds in 2017 to draft Mitchell Trubisky, and the rest is history. It was the same draft as Mahomes and Deshaun Watson. Now, considering we don't know what's going to happen with Justin Fields, hopefully great things like we hoped for Trubisky, but that was probably one of the toughest moments in Bears history in the last decade. That happens in draft, expected, but passing up on Mahomes and Watson for Mitch. But Pace did right by the team. He was always good at. I think the only thing I liked about him is he was good about drafting in the mid rounds. I mean, he made moves to get us Darnell Mooney, Travis Gibson, and Eddie Jackson in the fourth round, and Kyrus Tunga, who's a rookie I like on the defensive line for next year as a second-year player. Just some players like that have talent for the future of this team. And I think and you guys can jump on in. I know it's the morning, so and it's an emergency one, not planned. So jump in if you want to. Leave a comment, what you're thinking. Big news here, and this will be up on the YouTube channel, so you can comment there, comment on our blog, post as usual. And I'm gonna go on to other social media throughout the day. Once I'm back a little bit later to fill you in on some more stuff. So big news, everybody! Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy are gone. If you're just tuning in, reported courtesy of Adam Schefter of the NFL, well-respected reporter throughout the league, and then reported courtesy of shout out to the Cap and Jay Hood show on ESPN 1000. David Kaplan and Jonathan Hood, they did a really good job over there, and they're doing a really good job right now. So if you after you're tuning in to us, go check out Cap and Jay Hood at ESPN 1000. So I tuned in them myself. I'm a big fan, so had to give them a shout out here on this live stream. And Daniel Greenberg does a good job as well. And a shout out to somebody that's been on the show many times. He's a well-respected writer, covers the Bears in Chicago. Mark Grody reported as well. So if you guys like Mark Grody on the show here, go check out his stuff on Twitter, at Mark Grody Sports. Check out some of the stuff he's saying about the Bears. They'll fill you in a little more than I am also. So Ryan Pace, it was time for him to go. Last year, I'll never forget, like a lot of Bears fans do, they had the press conference about, whether or not Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace were staying. And they stayed, to some surprise. Now, we did get Fields and some other good prospects out of the draft last year, so I guess we have that from Pace. But it was time for them to go last year, in my opinion. I was very shocked that both returned. I had a bad feeling of how Nagy would impact Justin Fields. Doesn't look like he's ruined like Mitch was, but they need to get the right guy in front of him right now. I really think that George McCaskey will find a better general manager. I mean, it sounded like they were talking to a lot of people, which, if you guys remember, that's what the Bulls were doing. And yeah, I'm comparing it to the Bulls, guys. Same team in Chicago, different teams within the same city. That's what the Bulls did when they were trying to make a change, because you want to do it the right way. Because whatever the Bears have been doing in the last decade or two in moves hasn't worked. The Phil Emerys, the Jerry Angelos, Dick Duran head coach, Lovey, Trestman, and now Nagy in the past of the Bears and Pace as well. You need to do something different. It's time. So we got a viewer on. If you want to leave a comment on what we're talking about, love to hear what you guys think about the news again. Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy fired. Bears will be looking for a new general manager and head coach for next season in 2022/2023 season. So, big news. We're going to continue talking here about Ryan Pace. It was time for him to go. Aside from the mid-major stuff, Ryan, and I did meet you at training camp. Small note, your host, creator, and owner of Will Score Special did meet Ryan Pace in person. Nice guy, like they say Matt Nagy was, but it was time for him to go. Long time ago. So, thanks for Darnell Mooney, Justin Fields, Kyrus Tonga, Travis Gibson, Thomas Graham Jr., Cole Kmet, Tevin Jenkins, and Larry Borum, Ryan Pace. But good riddance. Best of luck to you. If you need help with your resume, you can reach out to your boy right here, Will Score Special. I do have experience in that. With resume. Now we're going to go to Matt Nagy. And, boy, I'm going to shorten what I could say about him. Nice guy, but I could spend 2 more hours on this live stream talking about him. But we're going to have to shorten that down for each and every one of you here a little bit. Got to save all the good content for the blog when it's out later in the episode, when they'll be later announced for this week. So, he was a very interesting choice of head coach when he came in years ago. Somebody that worked with the Chiefs, and, we thought, hey, he could fix Mitchell Trubisky. And he proved he couldn't. I think even during 2018, there's some signs that there's a bit of, the connection really didn't seem like it was fitting in my view. And I feel like, 2019 was a little bit doomed. I had a bad feeling about that myself. Just seeing how he was with the team. Like a good guy. I mean, brought in Club Dub. That was pretty cool for fans to check out. But when you're losing, it kind of shows things you don't expect to see and maybe things that need to be changed. And that's what happened in 2019. Even though they did go to the playoffs, they lost to the Saints, and the rest is history. Within the last few years, they did make some you know, trips there, but I feel like this one was more inevitable than Ryan Pace of the two. A lot of people, like I said, expected Ryan Pace get promoted or to be given a second chance because George McCaskey liked him a lot. Nice guy, hard not to like somebody like that, but they had a bit of a connection there in the front office, which is why probably Ryan's been here as long as he was before he was let go. So, Matt Nagy, back to him there, guys. I didn't like his coaching stuff from the get go. I thought, nice guy, but where's the resume? Where's the head coaching experience? Never been a head coach before, and that's some great head coaches come from that. You know, like look at Cleveland Browns and Kevin Stefanski. He was an offensive coordinator over in with Minnesota, and now look what he's doing. You know, like sometimes that'll work. It's kind of like the luck of the draw. You know, like playing cards or Monopoly or Risk. You never know what you're gonna get, and I think a lot of people thought at the time Matt Nagy was hired, he was gonna save the Bears. Like he was going to make Mitchell Trubisky the next Patrick Mahomes or help Fields become that in this year. But he didn't. I mean, you could tell he wasn't going to help Fields when he already said Fields is out this year. I don't believe in him. And then starting him by force from the front office. So that was a bit of a riff, I think, between him and Coach Nagy, for sure. I mean, it's kind of hard to see on the inside, obviously, but you can kind of infer that that's the case. You know, if your head coach isn't connecting well with your star player of the future you just picked first round to quarterback the team, to be a new face in the franchise, and like working with your young players and stuff, you're gonna play some guys that shouldn't be playing right now. It's gonna leave some questions. You know, the locker room was already fully split on him earlier in the year. You could tell that for sure, 100%. Now, is this me bashing either guy, saying they're bad people? Absolutely not. I just mean they're bad in the case of the Bears, you know, and why they deserve to be let go today, as they were. So I'm gonna repeat it again, just if you're tuning into this Will Score Special Fans. Welcome to this emergency Bears Black Monday Facebook live stream here. As when the fourth quarter buzzer sounds, that's 1, 2, 3, fourth quarter buzzer sounds. You tune to us for your fifth quarter sports talk. Yeah. So Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy are fired. Woo, they're gone, guys. The Bears are going to be headed in a new direction. And Matt Nagy, he just, to get back to that point, he just showed some incompetency. You know, he didn't know how to coach a game well. 1 foot on fourth and 1 a lot. I mean, you could see it in the game yesterday. I think was kind of the nail in the coffin. And I saw an interesting video, courtesy of Brad Biggs on Twitter. If you're on Twitter, go check this out. I shared it on our social media. It was a video of Ryan and Matt walking together off the field at US Bank Stadium. Never seen the stadium before, Minnesota. A friend of mine was there at the game yesterday, and it looks like a beautiful stadium. The Vikings have there, real nice new stadium, and but they're both walking off together. So you see Ryan and Matt just talking, rolling their suitcases, walking off together off the field. And that made you wonder, okay, maybe is both gone or is maybe one talking to the other? We didn't know what to expect with that. So both are gone. Now, the question will obviously be, and we'll cover this on the show. There'll be an episode hopefully in the works for covering this news a little more in detail, getting some other viewpoints. And then any moves are made, like a new coach or GM, we'll do a nice another emergency Facebook Live like right now, separately for each or at the same time, depending on when they happen or fall. And then there'll be some usual content coming out as well. So, Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy fired by the Chicago Bears, official as the last hour or so. So, Bears fans celebrate Monday morning for Bears fans. Sour about yesterday's loss. Great way to start the offseason and a hopeful future for the Chicago Bears. So, this will be up on our YouTube channel by tonight and a blog post on each move. Haven't decided if I want to do one together. There's so much information. Might just do 2 separate blog posts about each move. So, again, if you're just tuning into this, thank you for tuning into our emergency Facebook Live. Ryan Pace is no longer the general manager of the Chicago Bears after 7 seasons, and Matt Nagy, after 4 seasons failed with the Chicago Bears, is no longer the head coach. The Chicago Bears are heading in a new direction need to bring in a new general manager, head coach, and possibly a team president. We don't know what's going to happen with Ted Phillips yet. So when the fourth quarter buzzer sounds, you turn to us for your fifth quarter sports talk. I'm Will Farlow, owner, host, and creator of Will's Fifth Quarter Special, saying so long, stay warm, do your homework, kids, wear a mask if you need to, and stay tuned in to the great stuff here, as always, at the Fifth Quarter Sports Talk. Take care, everybody. Go Bears. They're gone. Matt Nagy and Pace are gone. Yay. See you guys.